And I want to begin with this continued protest of the national anthem that we see in the NFL. So I'm sure you remember how this all started when washed-up third-string quarterback Colin Kaepernick decided to sit during the national anthem during a preseason NFL game. Well, ever since that POS decided to disrespect this country, it seems that it has now gone viral. Kind of the worst thing ever to go viral. So last night at the NFL home opener, another third-rate football player, Brandon Marshall, decided to do the same thing, making him now the fourth player to do so, joining Kaepernick, 49ers safety Eric Reed, and Seattle Seahawks cornerback Jeremy Lane. Marshall said he had been thinking about it for a couple weeks, going back to when his teammate fraternity brother at the University of Nevada, Kaepernick, did it first. He said, quote, "I thought about it all the way up until the lady was going to start singing. I was like, they're going to get on me. At the end of the day, I'm definitely good with my decision." Well, at least he was thinking before he effectively spit in the face of all Americans. But like Kaepernick, Marshall brought up instances of police brutality that made headlines over the summer as his root of his protest. You know, all this, going against black people and all this stuff they always bring up. You know, this, how the institutions against them, even though these guys are millionaires and live in their coddled little houses. Even though Marshall saw the negative messages on his phone and said he understood that he'll lose some fans over the protest, and that's, quote, absolutely something he considered before the anthem started Thursday, he said he had no regrets. Marshall said he'll continue to protest during the anthem this season. Now, as far as his detractors, Marshall pointed out that protesting during the anthem allowed Kaepernick, himself, and others to speak on a large platform about the issues they want to see changed. He said, quote, "This is the right platform. This is our only platform to be heard. I think a lot of times people want us to just shut up and entertain them. Shut up and play football. But we have issues as well. We're educated individuals who went to college. When we have an opinion, I feel like a lot of people bash us for it." Well, you're dang right they do. First, you may have went to college, but you're definitely not educated. I mean, I've heard you talk. You couldn't make a coherent statement if your life depended on it. Second, you do need to just shut up and play football. I don't think Johnny Unitas or Roger Staubach ever made a protest. The fact is, sports and politics should not mix. People watch sports because they want to get away from all this division that we have in our country. When you're not playing football, sure, spew your hatred and disrespect as much as you want. But when you're on that field, you're there to play football and entertain people, not give your political philosophy. And third, the national anthem is not the right platform. Do not use the red, white, and blue for your political agenda. Blood has been spilled for that flag. It's more than politics. It goes beyond politics. But herein lies the problem with these football players. They get paid millions of dollars to play a game and live in their big mansions protected by private security and the police that they so disrespect. They have never had to sacrifice in their lives. Everything they have has been given to them, or at least all they have to do is play football. They don't realize the sacrifices that have been made to give them that comfort zone, that give them the same right to disrespect the flag. They don't have to see their best friend shot and killed for their freedom. They didn't have to raise a child by themselves because mom or dad was killed. And they didn't have to bury their son or daughter. They don't have to live with traumatic brain injury or the night terrors that accompany PTSD. They don't have to walk with one leg or have everyone be scared of them because their face is burned off by an IED. They don't have to worry if their loved one will ever come home. They don't have to miss the birth of their child or their child's birthdays. No. The only thing they have to worry about is to memorize a playbook and not get turf-toe. That is the extent of their worries. But only because of those who have sacrificed is that their only worry. These guys aren't getting pulled. They don't live in the ghetto or anything like that. Sure, both Kaepernick and these other lowlifes say their protests are not anti-military, but just because you say so doesn't make it so. I mean, if I told you that you're so ugly that the proctologist would stick his finger in your mouth, but no offense, you would probably still take offense by that. Just because you say no offense doesn't absolve you of the offense taken. I mean, I'm sorry for that little Rodney Dangerfield joke, but all kidding aside, I start wondering, what is the root of all this? I was thinking to myself, why is this growing up? And it all circles back to Obama. I mean, we never saw any of this during President Bush's term of office. But the people have seen, all these people, the people of the United States, we have seen how the United States has been embarrassed over the last few years internationally, and we have politicians who pander the people, telling them that the police is going after them. I mean, if you remember, Obama said Trayvon Martin could be his son. So you have this, them breaking us down internationally, and the pandering these people say, yeah, you have the problem, the police are bad. And when we put all this together, you have a culture established that doesn't remember how great America is. A culture that doesn't remember how America is the bastion of freedom for those around the world. A culture that doesn't recognize all the sacrifice it took from millions of Americans to keep our country safe and free. Despite these last 8 years, America is still the best country the world has ever seen. I mean, I think a lot of people don't think that anymore, but it still is. But when you have your own president of the United States who doesn't think America is the best country, it filters down to the American people. When the leader goes, the people go. The people will follow their leader. Weak leadership and a culture that finds it okay to disrespect the flag is the root cause for all this disrespect that we see. It all boils down to the president. The president's already said he's okay with people, he's okay with Kaepernick kneeling down. And when you have a president who says that, we need the president to stick up and say, no, this is not the proper venue. This is not the proper way to voice your concerns. But you see the media and you see all these people rushing to these people's defense. Like I've said before, we're not a dictatorship. If you want to sit during the national anthem, you can. We're not going to lock you up. But I think you would have your own respect not to do so within yourself. Say, that's not. I may not agree with what's going on, but I still respect our flag and what it stands for. And we see this assault on the flag, and we see how just the other day the court system threw out the lawsuit about the Mississippi flag, and that's where it all starts. They start with something like the Mississippi flag. Oh, it's oppressive, it's offensive, this, and that, and then they start moving in to even more serious subjects like the American flag. And when people in Ole Miss and Southern Miss and all these other colleges take down the Mississippi flag, they don't think of the guardsmen that wear that flag. They don't think of the guardsmen that fought and died with the Mississippi patch. They don't think about that. They just arbitrarily do it. The same thing with these guys sitting during the national anthem. They're just they're not thinking about what they're doing. Because they don't know. They can't understand. They can't understand what that flag means because they've always lived in this nice society. So they don't understand the repercussions of them sitting down during the national anthem. Sitting down on the flag that waves, the same flag that flew over Iwo Jima. They don't understand what that means because they've never had to. And they don't have to because of the policemen and the military who protect them. They don't have to think about that. But they're going to disrespect it anyway. And they can say it doesn't offend anybody, but it does. I mean, it offends it not only disrespects, America, but it disrespects themselves and it disrespects their team. I mean, if I was a GM, if I was a general manager or the owner of one of those teams, you're gone if you do that. I'm not the government. I don't have to respect your First Amendment right as a company. And that's just hurting my team. I don't want that person on my team. It's just bringing down everybody else.